Glad to have Khari Bodrick on with us this morning, living with rejection-sensitive dysphoria, and has dedicated his life to helping others overcome. This happens a lot. Call it what you will. He says that more people are taking mental health days. Khari, welcome aboard, and please help us out here. What's going on?
First off, thanks for having me, guys.
Yes, sir.
So I just wanted to talk about mental health briefly. This is something that's been a growing topic in the coming years, especially after the COVID-19 pandemic. And, I've dedicated my life, like you said, just to really bringing and shining a light on mental health and working with companies hand in hand and with their employees, encouraging them to take mental health days because it's well needed for sure.
What happened to you, Khari? Because, as soon as somebody, if you got chest pains and you want to check that out immediately, you don't mind going to a heart doctor or emergency room or something, but got mental problems and, suddenly going to a psychiatrist or a psychologist, somebody says, oh, you ought to have your head examined, which, at least they're consistent in their philosophy.
Yeah, for sure. For personally. So for me, personally, I've always dealt with anxiety growing up as a child. Just the things that I've experienced in life, the different situations I've been in. It's really just challenged me in so many ways, but I think the biggest thing that's helped me out so much is really seeking help and going for counseling and therapy sessions. So that kind of goes hand in hand with the companies that we work with, and what we're trying to encourage nationwide is for employee assistance program for these companies to really encourage their associates and their leaders to buy into this program. It usually serves like about 24-hour counseling support. And that's something that is well needed, is to let the employees feel like, hey, this is not just a place I come to work, but it's also, a joint venture, basically, just a very good feeling that your company cares about you both inside and outside of work.
Khari Bodrick this morning with us, and what do you besides COVID? I mean, there were other things that were going on besides this, and I think a lot of it has to do with social media, as well as whatever is happening with kids in public schools, or not only public school, I guess any schools these days.
Absolutely, and yeah. So mental health it's like you said, the social media, it can be a positive and a negative, and that's why I try to use my social media content to shine light on the social media and how we use it. And I think Instagram, for example, is taking a very good step towards that by limiting the time, giving people daily limits, also like monitoring what people post and seeing what can be damaging, especially since there's a lot of young kids who are on social media nowadays. So that's very important. I'm glad that these platforms are really taking that initiative to care about mental health as well.
Isn't that the truth? Khari, what happened to you? When did you have this sort of what we call the coming to Jesus moment or something, and said, I need some help here?
For sure. So it really started for me back in middle school. I had an anxiety attack during the football tryouts. Crazy as it sounds, I was always super, super passionate about football, very, very highly recruited. And, unfortunately, I did take a year off, had some injuries, and I took a year off, and in that year, I ended up, just my mind changed completely. This is my first time without playing football. I didn't really know that was such a big part of my life. That's what kept me focused. That's what kept me humble. And without it, I just ended up getting into the wrong things, and my mind started to drift away. And, I just ended up having an anxiety attack in the middle of football tryouts. And, that's when I knew I needed to get attention. I needed to get help. So ever since that day, I've been just going to therapy, weekly sessions, talking with my therapist, going to counseling, and now just also sharing my story with everybody that I can nationwide to let them know, like, hey, this is something that happened to me. This is something that relates directly to me. It's not okay. It's not a problem to seek help. And I think that's the biggest thing nowadays. People are worried about the stigma that's attached to mental health.
Well, Khari, good on you for recognizing it at such a young age and saying and going and getting the help. Most people hit rock bottom and even below that before they and almost die before they get it. Where would you suggest people go and tell them therapy is actually good for you, and it's not there shouldn't be any stigma attached to it.
Absolutely. So I think the biggest thing for people to do is, take a quick Google search, and you can work with your local doctor, or you can look in some local nonprofit organizations. There's so many organizations nationwide that you can reach out to, and they'll just hook you up with some counseling sessions. You can be virtual, it can be in person. I think that's the biggest step to take, but it's a lot of people who are really focusing on mental health nationwide now, and it's not going to be hard to seek help, and to get into the right place where people genuinely care about you and willing to help you. So take a quick Google search, definitely say work with some local nonprofit organizations as well, and they'll get you in the right place.
All right. Khari, still follow football. Who's your favorite team?
The Buffalo Bills, man. Super Bowl champs coming out.
Well, you could get some more mental health on that, waiting for them to do well. But hey, that's another story. We have to put up with the Falcons here. All right, God bless you, Khari. Thanks.
All right, take care.
Take care. All right, yeah, blew the biggest lead in Super Bowl history, but I digress. It's 78 degrees at News Radio 97.7, going up to about 87 today, and employees are increasingly scrapping degree requirements amid labor shortage. How in the world are you going to make a living without getting a degree? I don't know. Just ask the late, great Rush Limbaugh. You can have a seance.